Good afternoon and welcome to Channel 8 News. Today we'll talk about how to prepare for Election Day and a fundraiser you could help support.
And later we are live at the ribbon cutting in downtown Manhattan.
But for now, let's go outside and check the weather for this week. Mackenzie, how's it looking out there?
The sun is out, the sky is clear, but it is still a bit chilly outside. But have no fear because the future 5-day forecast promises even nicer weather. Stay tuned.
This is KKSU LD, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills, broadcasting in high definition from Kansas State University. You're watching Channel 8 News.
Welcome to Channel 8 News. I'm Kenya Mills.
And I'm James Copeland. You may not be aware, but many residents have been wondering why their bikes have gone missing. However, the recent Disappearing Bike Act in the Manhattan community has been unraveled. The Riley County Police Department has identified a bike burglar in Manhattan this past week. Cyclists were put on alert after several bike thefts occurred in the central area of Manhattan. Roy Patterson of Topeka was arrested for property theft and trafficking drugs. Police are still in the process of returning the bikes to their rightful cyclists. If you have been a victim of this crime in the past weeks, please contact the Riley County Police Department.
This past Saturday, Channel 8 reporter Catherine Curtis attended an event hosted by the Douglas Community Center to celebrate the history of Yuma Street, part of Manhattan's Black History Observance.
History is intertwined on almost every street in Manhattan. Yuma Street is a living historical location with many gathering to still hear its stories.
At one time, Yuma Street was the black main street for the black community. We've lost a lot of the people who lived on this street, and this is just a little something to reflect back on what Yuma Street used to be in Manhattan, Kansas.
The Douglas Community Center holds the event annually to celebrate not only Black History Month, but also the community who lives here.
Whenever a town grows, there's a good chance they're going to lose some history. And if we don't preserve it, it's gone.
The event featured speakers that talked about 4 buildings on Yuma Street that carry on the Black history. In the program's lineup, Negro League historian Phil Dixon brought some of the baseball stories to life that took place on these blocks of Manhattan.
I spoke about things like the baseball revolution that the Kansas City Monarchs created through its owners, through its players, through their activities, through their barnstorming, and they were playing here in Manhattan, Kansas. So it gave me an opportunity to talk about games played specifically here in. It's not a story just for Black History Month. It's an American story, and it's a baseball story.
History is alive and well on Yuma Street. The stories will continue on with those who venture on it. This is Catherine Curtis for Channel 8 News.
The Yuma Street event concluded Black History Month for 2016, but the history of the neighborhood lives on in the hearts and minds of Manhattan residents.
Coming up, find out what a special guest had to say about the 2016 elections during a rally in Kansas City.
And later, should you be getting fit for spring break or keeping those holiday pounds? Stay tuned in.
Land Grant University, entrusted with serving the needs of our communities and world through the nation's most important research and testing. We don't cater to what's popular. We come together to find out what's next, what will save lives and better the world. Since 1863, our values haven't changed, but our methods have. What defines a land-grant university? Community, progress, you.
I'm Ngọc Trân from Đà Lạt, Vietnam.
I'm Raphael from St. Mary's, Kansas.
Mình nói cả tiếng Việt và tiếng Anh.
I only speak one language, unless you count Pig Latin. Oh, you don't? Okay, one language.
I'm new to K-State and want to experience everything I can in Manhattan.
I'm hungry. Do you want to go eat some ice cream?
Sure.
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
How do you say Wabash in your language?
What's a Wabash?
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders visited Kansas City on February 24th. Sanders spoke at Bartle Hall to campaign ahead of the Kansas caucuses. Thousands lined up outside the Kansas City Convention Center to hear Sanders speak and show their support.
What brings me out here is to support the change. As millennials, we typically don't go vote, and we want the change, and we talk about the change. But if you don't go out and you don't support the politics and the people who are running for change, you can't get the actual change. And if you hear this crowd today, that's what we're looking for today, and we want the change to happen. You know, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or independent, when I say to millennials, come vote, get involved in the politics, and make a change for America.
Both Kansas Republicans and Democrats will have their voices heard in the presidential race on Saturday. The parties will use a caucus system, which is different than the primary elections voters might be used to.
A caucus is funded by the individual parties, either the Republican Party or the Democrat Party. It is not funded at all by any tax dollars.
And that may be where the similarities between each party's caucus system ends. On caucus day, Democrats divide into groups in separate parts of the room based on their candidate preference.
You're voting with your body, basically. You show up, you get checked in, you go into a room with a bunch of other folks, and you'll get into preference groups, and then from there we'll decide. Once we do a count, we figure out the percentage of those folks that have the vote, and then we'll elect delegates that will then go on to the next level and eventually on to the national convention.
Kansas Republicans will use a more familiar voting style for their caucuses.
And ours will be a secret ballot. You know, you go, I mean, it's not like you're in a booth, but you can mark your ballot, put it in the ballot box, and nobody knows who you voted for.
Polling from Fort Hays State University of likely Kansas caucus goers shows Secretary Hillary Clinton with a 10-point lead over Senator Bernie Sanders, with 44% of Democrats still undecided. On the Republican side, businessman Donald Trump holds a double-digit lead over both Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Ted Cruz, while 39% of Republicans say they're still undecided. With so many undecided voters, campaigns are working overtime to get a victory in the Sunflower State.
3 candidates have active campaigns in Kansas. That's Trump, Cruz, and Rubio.
We've been doing phone banks and working with local groups here in town, in Manhattan and across the 22nd Senate District. We're here just to make sure that we're successful on caucus day.
Riley County Republicans will vote at Manhattan High School. The last day to be registered for the GOP caucus was February 4th. GOP voters will need to show a photo ID at the polls. Democrats, however, are allowing voters to switch parties or register on site. Riley County Democrats will vote at Anthony Middle School in Manhattan. And now we continue our coverage of the 2016 election with Kyle Klukas. He is a political science major here at K-State, and Kyle has previous experience with campaigns. So Kyle, tell us a little bit about why young people, millennials, or even the broader public should be involved or care about the caucuses or politics.
Well, that's a really great question, Chase. I guess for young voters such as you and me, there's an incentive for us to get involved because in all modern elections, and particularly close elections like the one we're seeing in the Republican primary, there's really advanced overtures that each candidate will take in order to get votes. You know, Hillary is increasing her Facebook presence. We're seeing the same from Cruz, Rubio, and Trump. They realize that we as individuals make somewhat of a difference for their campaign, and if only for the reason that they need our vote to win, they'll listen to our policy preferences, which is a reason that we should stay civically engaged.
I'm really interested. You know, we saw that 44% of Democrats and 39% of Republicans were still undecided. What do you think is the reason driving so many undecided voters in 2016?
According to a Brookings Institute finding from, I think, early 2014, we see that a lot of primary voters in particular don't make up their decision of who they're going to vote for until at least a week before the primary. Now, the numbers that you showed earlier are about from a week ago, so I think we're going to see a lot more people deciding soon. But you have to consider that not everyone is a politics nerd like you, me, or the viewer of this show. Many aren't exposed to the advanced information that we are, so they'll make their decision closer and closer to the date. I think as people are driving on Saturday, as people are making their way to the poll, they're going to eventually make up their decition.
So we know today is Super Tuesday, and so
Absolutely.
Dozens of states are going to the polls on both the Democrat and Republican sides. What should we expect coming into Kansas on Saturday, given that many of these contests will shape the race by Saturday?
Well, Tonight, a lot of things are going to shake out for the front runners on each side. I think if a lot of the polls are correct in other states, that Hillary will end up with a large number of delegates, and so will Trump. This means that Kansas will be kind of a battleground for these secondary candidates like Bernie on one side and Cruz Rubio on the other side. So this is why I guess you see an increased presence of Bernie in this state, increased Cruz flyers within the state, because they realize if they're behind on delegates after Super Tuesday, which if the polls are right, once again they may be, then they're going to really need this as a state that can be almost a tiebreaker or a catch-up in a sense.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me on.
Back to you at the anchor desk.
Well, coming up, we'll take a look at how the Manhattan community is reaching out in support of a local waitress.
And later, we go downtown as City Hall celebrates the opening of their new Parks and Rec offices. Stay with us.
What ignites inspiration? It's sparked in every victory, every banner carried high. It's lit in traditions that bind each generation together. It's found in the people who push us to never settle and who serve those without a voice. It's iconic. It's groundbreaking. It's a new generation of world changers and answer seekers. What ignites inspiration? Tradition, passion, you.
Hi, I'm Tunde from Lagos, Nigeria.
And I'm Ronnie from Spring Hill, Kansas.
During festivals, I wear my kaftan.
On K-State game days, I wear purple and a foam finger.
I've never been to an American football game.
I've never been out of this country. You want to go tailgating this weekend?
Sure.
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
Would you happen to have a purple kaftan?
Only for game days.
Powerful ideas are sparked by a natural curiosity. It could begin with a single seed or a brilliant ray of light. At Kansas State University, it begins with research that advances the world, where science and creativity meet. At Kansas State University, powerful ideas begin with you.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. K-State students celebrate a week of physical fitness and healthy eating during the Fit to Be Me week celebration presented by the WellCat ambassadors. Fit to Be Me Week is geared toward appreciating our bodies, abilities, and being confident with ourselves as we are. WellCat Ambassador Lindsay Truesdale discussed the role of WellCats in staying healthy through college.
We just try to promote different health topics, so nutrition or fitness or sexual health, and again helps put students in contact with resources that can help them stay healthy and have a good time in college and maintain their well-being.
The week of celebrating positive body image came to a close as students danced their way into the weekend at Zumba. Even though the week is over, promoters want you to remember that you are more than you appear to be.
Walk into Manhattan's Early Edition restaurant and you'll see it posted on the wall near the cash register. It's a poster of a young woman in need of some help.
I heard of her story and was impressed by how the community has come together to help the single mother.
The story begins with a tip jar that sits right beside an accident report. It's about an employee at Early Edition restaurant in Manhattan involved in a car crash.
What we understand, Amanda was traveling east back into Manhattan, and there was a pickup that was traveling west on Tuttle Creek Boulevard. He went left of center and hit her head on, and the point of impact was right where her legs were. You know, if you look at the car, you can see very easily why she has so many injuries from the waist down where her legs were.
Amanda Shepard is now on the long road to recovery. Her employers at both Early Edition Restaurant and Copeland Insurance have opened a bank account at Landmark Bank for public donations to offset her medical and living expenses.
Our goal, she's a single mom, she has 3 children, and it appears that she won't probably work for quite a while, so our goal is to help offset the cost of her bills.
Medical equipment, things like that, expenses, things that we can't even think about right now, that in the future. And so I think the fund will eventually shift to possibly is there medical equipment that she needs as she goes through rehabilitation.
For Shayna Stevenson, Amanda's co-worker and friend, it's a way to give back to a person known for taking care of others.
A waffle with a side of potatoes. The first thing she always asks is, how are you doing? And I said, not how am I, how are you doing? She was always that type of person, no matter how down she was, she always fought through it and always took care of everybody else first. And so I think that's where I learned the most was from her.
So far, they've raised $1,000 for Amanda and have high hopes of raising more. In Manhattan, Kenya Mills, Channel 8 News.
Now, if you would like to make a donation, you simply stop by Early Edition Restaurant, Copeland Insurance, or Landmark Bank, all in Manhattan. A GoFundMe campaign has also been started online under the title Amanda Shepard Medical Fund.
It's nice to see the community coming together. Amanda seems to have a lot of support headed her way.
Yes, indeed.
But now Mackenzie Dynas is here with a look at this week's weather. Mackenzie?
Thank you, James. Now our state here is experiencing a wide range of weather over here. So let's start in the west and look up on the west. We have a high in Los Angeles, but over in Oregon and Washington, we're experiencing some low 50s. So let's move on over to Texas down here. In Dallas, we're experiencing 70 degrees. And moving on up to Kansas City, it's 46 degrees. Let's move on over to the northern part of the region. Over in Boston, 43 degrees, but moving on down again into the south, it's 79 degrees in Miami. Moving on to our national map. Over in our national map, let's take a look over here. There's experiencing some clouds and some snow, some sun, but over in California, they're nice, beautiful days over there. And so coming over here to Albuquerque, New Mexico, we're having a cold front move through, affecting Texas, and over in our southern states over here. But up in northern part of our region, it's just cloudy over in there. So let's take a look in Kansas. In Kansas, we're experiencing some low temperatures over in Kansas altogether, but surprisingly, there's our western part of the state is experiencing 60 degrees, but over in the central and in our northern area, 46 and 50 degrees. So let's move on to our 5-day forecast. Over in our 5-day forecast, Wednesday, we get to experience 70 degrees, so go outside and enjoy some sports out and play some basketball. Baseball's starting up. Go see a baseball game when they're open. Thursday, it's 60 degrees, but partly cloudy as well. And on Friday, almost 70 degrees. It's going to be a high 60s. Nice and sunny that day, but 66 on Saturday is going to be quite the windy day. Don't let it ruin any of your festivities. Maybe you have to move them indoors instead of standing outside and visiting Aggieville. On Sunday, it's also going to be a gusty day. It's about 71 degrees. Take your kite out and fly it. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Mackenzie. It looks like the weather is looking great.
Definitely.
So K-State's track and field team was at the Big 12 Championship in Ames, Iowa this past weekend. We'll tell you who crossed the finish line first.
And one of our own Wildcats touched down at the NFL Combine. Keep it here on Channel 8 News.
I'm Kathleen from Meiningen, Germany.
I'm Ginger from Overland Park, Kansas.
I've traveled to London and saw the Parliament, studied in Mexico City, spent the summer in Austria, went skiing in the Alps. Oh, and I visited the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Well, I've been to the world's largest ball of twine.
Can we go?
Of course!
Become an international buddy today and develop new friendships and experience different cultures.
Up next, the world's deepest hand-dug well.
Is it near the Grand Canyon?
Kenya, Africa. A baby elephant is trapped in a water hole. Researchers rush to the rescue, and a 400-pound baby elephant and its agitated, dangerous mother are finally reunited. One of those researchers is K-State alumnus Mark Sowers. While at K-State, he used telemetry to study bison on the Konza Prairie Biological Station, a skill he now uses to study and help elephants, his lifelong dream. That's the Wildcat way.
I am an artist.
I'm an explorer.
A parent.
Working full-time.
I am the future.
I'm finishing my bachelor's degree.
Getting my master's.
Becoming professionally certified.
I'm a student.
I'm on my way.
And I am global.
Kansas State University's Global Campus is your connection to learn online, develop professionally, and connect globally. Go online for more information about K-State's Global Campus.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. We now go to sports reporter Nate Guidry for all the updates on sporting events around Manhattan. Nate, what do you have for us?
Thanks, James. The starting gun shot off, sending the K-State track and field team off to Ames, Iowa, where they competed in a two-day showdown for the Big 12 title. K-State battled hard in the Big 12 Indoor Championships. Both men and women finished. They did not bring the big prize home. There were plenty of individual awards to go around. K-State finished with 7 total first-place finishers. Akila Jones nabbed three of those in the high jump, long jump, and 60-meter hurdles. Christoph won the men's high jump, and Afani Antunya came away on top in the men's long jump. Brady Grunder placed first in the men's weight throw, with Sonia Gaskin wrapping up the first-place finishers in the 600-yard run. Next up will be the NC2A championship for those athletes who qualified. The events will be in Birmingham, Alabama, starting next Friday. Over the weekend, former K-State football player Cody Whitehair participated in the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Of the 53 offensive linemen, the Combine, Whitehair had the 7th best 40 running in 5.08 seconds. Whitehair is looking to become the 142nd Wildcat drafted into the NFL. Coverage of the draft will begin April 28th on ESPN. Moving on to hoops, the women's basketball team hosted the number 4 Baylor Bears on Saturday, looking to pull off an upset. The Lady Cats started off strong in the first quarter. Kendra Wiesman knocked down the three-pointer. Brianna Lewis grabs her own rebound and puts it right back up for the score. She finished with a team-high 20 points. The team rolled into the second quarter up 17-12, but the Bears bounced back, dominating the rest of the game. The Lady Cats lost 63-52 on senior night. The Lady Cats finished off the regular season on Monday with a 59-51 loss to Oklahoma State. They are projected to compete in the field of 64 at the NC2A tournament. As for the men, their hopes took another major hit after an 80-61 loss to the Iowa State Cyclones. It seems their only chance to make the tournament would be to win the Big 12 tournament. That would be quite a feat, as six of the 10 conference teams are currently ranked in the top 25. The Wildcat men played the TCU Horned Frogs on senior night Wednesday at 7 p.m. There's plenty more sporting events on tap this week. What? The Batcats home opener begins Friday. They'll be playing Arkansas Pine Bluff throughout the weekend. And don't forget about the Manhattan High Indians. The girls and the boys basketball team compete in sub-state March 2nd and 3rd. Respectively, they both be at home in the first round of the competition. That'll do it for sports this week. Follow Channel 8 News on Facebook and keep up with all the sports in Manhattan area. I'm Nate Guidry, now back to the desk.
All right, thanks, Nate. Coming up, we're live for an up-close look at City Hall's new expansion.
Also, we show you more things to do around the Manhattan area. Keep it here with Channel 8 News.
Class, study. Class, eat. Play, play, play. Study. Class, chill. Class, eat, study, play, study. Sometimes it seems there just aren't enough hours in the day at our 3 campuses, so you have to make every minute count, especially those precious first few. That's why Kansas State alum Herbert Diamond invented the snooze alarm, a dorm room fixture. Because even when you can't wait to get started, sometimes it's nice to wait to get started. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Maybe make a little pause or something.
Around here.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. Now we join reporter Nick Uremovich live at Manhattan City Hall, where city officials are unveiling the Parks and Recreation expansion.
I'm here at City Hall on Points Avenue with the Manhattan Department of Parks and Recreation, where they're doing a ribbon cutting for their brand new office space. I'm here with Eddie Eastis, the Director of Parks and Recreation here in Manhattan. Eddie, what should the people of Manhattan be excited about with this new step for Parks and Recreation?
The big step for the community is we're trying to focus on one-stop shopping for the community members. We use City Park and everything to do with Parks and Recreation, reservations, registrations, school passes, people would have to come to City Park. We're really trying to focus on enlarging our customer service area in City Hall so that we can provide that one-stop shopping. You can come to City Hall now and you can pay your water bill. Then you can get happy by signing up for a Parks and Recreation class, buy your pool pass. One-stop shopping is our focus of what we're trying to gain some efficiencies and eventually help save money for the community.
Of course, when you do those kind of things for the consumer as well as provide this kind of a beautiful office space, what's the next big step for Parks and Recreation?
Next big step, right, for integration facility feasibility study. We're looking at community needs. We know we have unmet needs in the community of indoor space. So we're trying to see what is feasible in enhancing existing spaces or grow new spaces.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Eddie. Back to you all at the news desk.
Still looking for fun things to do with your family or friends in your free time without breaking the bank? Channel 8 News reporter Mitch May is back out this week trying to uncover all that Manhattan has to offer.
Last week, Channel 8 took you around Manhattan looking for cheap and exciting things for families to do in the spring. And we're back at it this week looking at the Flint Hills Discovery Center.
We're in the heart of a national treasure. It's really a rare ecosystem and we're really lucky to have it, and we're here to just share it with people.
At only the slim price line of $4 to $9, depending on your age, it's very accessible to everyone. The Flint Hills Discovery Center highlights the beauty that is right here in Manhattan that could sometimes be overlooked. Each season, the center has a rotating, hands-on exhibit. Right now, how things are made is in full swing.
Children learn about the manufacturing process from molding, die cuts, presses, and they get to do all of those things. They can make a spoon out of a wax mold. They can die cut a horse and put it together. They can flatten pennies.
The Flint Hills Discovery Center has a beautiful outdoor patio you can take advantage of. But on windy days like today, we can also come right inside and check out all the interesting and interactive events and exhibits they have going on each week. The center is currently in the process of planning their summer exhibit as well. The exhibit will feature in May and last until the school year starts up again.
Our summer show will be called Amazing Dinosaurs. And what can you say? It's about dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? I'm so excited about it.
You can check out all that the Flint Hills Discovery Center has to offer for you and your family on their website, www.flinthillsdiscovery.org. For Channel 8 News, I'm Mitch May.
Thanks, Mitch. It's a shame we have to wait until the summer to see that dinosaur exhibit.
I know, but it's really too bad. But there's always lots of fun things going on at the Discovery Center, so really a great place to go out and visit. Well, that's about all we have for MHK or for Channel 8 News. But anyway, have a great day, and we will see you here next week.